Hi, we're doing something a little different today. We're doing our base. We're doing our base. Yeah, so don't forget your water and don't forget your snack. Let's do it. I'm gonna get some things together and then I'm gonna meet you right back here. See? This. Well, maybe not this specifically, but this is a moisturizer that we're going to be putting underneath our primer. And this one specifically has SPF in it. So if you're going out for the day, please protect yourself. Thank you kindly. You are too important to this world to not have SPF. So this particular one is just the Cetaphil Daily Facial Moisturizer, and it's got some sunscreen in it. So we're gonna pull a little bit of that on our face, because none of my primers have SPF, and this is a very important step. Next step is to prime. So this is the e.l.f. Poreless Face Primer. I really like this. This basically will give you just a really nice, soft, even face. Oh, that was way too much. That's okay. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna rub it in. And then you're gonna wait a couple seconds, let it dry, before you start putting any products on top of it. Cool? We can do that. That's easy. Don't forget your neck. Some color in this face. Okay, first product I'm going to use, this is Dermablend, the Flawless Creator Multi-Use Liquid Pigments. This color is a tiny bit dark for me, so it's perfect for my summer color. It comes with a little dropper, does not come out of the dropper very well. So we're just going to dab. And this is only going to go on any parts of our face that are a little bit not the color we want it to be. Like I've got some red spots down here, like this guy we're gonna cover up. And this is just to kind of even out our skin tone. We're not putting this all over our face. It's almost like a spot concealed before we put our foundation on. And you can do this one of two ways. Obviously, we just talked about doing it this way, but two different tools are what I use. Wow, why can't I talk? Two different tools are what I use. There are two specific different tools that you can use for this. I either use a damp beauty blender. They're all stained. It's okay. We're going to be all right. Or you're going to use a very dense, packed, like a foundation brush, basically, like this. So I'll do one side with a beauty blender and another side with a brush, just so that you can see the difference. Cool? Let's do it. That I did with a damp beauty blender, and if you could see, I'm just bouncing, you're not wiping. So you just bounce this guy, right, everywhere that you need it to go. And a tiny bit of product goes a long way. So if you saw, I just did like little dots that covered my entire face. So I did, what did I do? I did the beauty blender on this side. I did the brush on this side. So really, not much of a difference. There's really not much of a difference. So it's really based on personal preference, whether you like to use a damp beauty blender or a brush. There's no right or wrong way to do that. I'm gonna put a tiny more on this really pigmented spot that I have on my skin right now. And it's okay if it doesn't fully cover it. We're not done laying product down. So basically we're gonna let this sit for a couple seconds, up to a minute. And then we're gonna go get our regular base foundation. All right, let's go do that. All right, so this is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer. This is in shade Flax. I love this stuff. I use this every day. I don't have other concealers. Well, I do. I just don't. It's fine. This is the only concealer that counts to me. So it's a foundation too. It's fine. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyway, so I'm going to put this directly under my eye like that. And then I'm going to, I always make a T on my forehead. I don't know why. Is this right? Who knows? But this is how I do it. And then I do it a little bit on my the bridge of my nose. And then I make these, I don't know, they're like this strange shape where I just go across and then down, like that. Is it right? No idea. But you know what? It's gotten the job done for me so far. So I'm gonna do the same thing over here. And I'm really making sure that I get this on my jawline too, because I've that mask knee issue. I've been breaking out on my jaw, so we need to make sure that that gets taken care of. Put it on my chin, put it above my lip. And then I'm just gonna put it in the middle of my cheeks. Like that. Beauty. Now, you can do your beauty balance, your beauty blender, or your brush. Doesn't matter. Whichever one you'd like to use. I will do half and half again so that you can see what the difference is, if there is much of a difference, but I promise there probably won't be much. But let's do that. Here again are the two sides. This side I did with a beauty blender, and this side I did with a brush. Beauty blender, brush. There's not really that much of a difference. It's really all based on personal preference. And so we're much more even now. Most of our, pigment all looks the same. You're not going to get rid of texture. It is what it is. You're not going to get rid of little bumps. You're not going to get rid of, the way that it looks under the foundation. You are going to, change the tone of your skin to match the rest of it, but you're still gonna have texture there, and that's totally fine. It is not a big deal. Textured skin is okay, remember? Because I live with it every day, and I'm still trucking. So now that you have your foundation. Why do I say concealer every time? Now that you have your foundation on, we're gonna start some of the shaping of our face, which is probably the most fun part for me. So let's go grab some bronzer. If you have cream bronzer, if you have cream blush, anything liquid or cream, now is the time to do it before we set it with powder. So let's go do that. Hey, hello again. So now we're gonna start shaping our face and adding a little bit more color to it so we don't look like we just died, okay? So this is the Fenty Beauty the Cream Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Bronzer in shade 3 or Macchiato. It looks like this. It gets a lot of love from me. And you're just gonna use a big, I don't even know what this is. This is a Morphe S3 brush. It looks like that. It looks like that. And you're gonna get, I put product on both sides. I don't know if it helps or not, if I'm being completely honest, but it feels like it does. So we're just gonna keep doing it. And what I do with this is I'll lay the flat part of this brush against my skin, and then as I get closer to the center of my face, I'll kind of twist the brush so that it ends up on its side. So I'll show you what I mean. So we're really flat against the skin here, and then we're gonna go towards the center, and then I'm just gonna turn it like that. So I ended just on the tip of this so that I get a nice smooth, like thin line down the center. I personally don't like my cheeks contoured that much, so I just want like a cute little line. I don't want, like a very sharp edge or something that doesn't look realistic. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So we're gonna be flat against the skin, and then we're gonna come in and then turn. There you go. That was a little bit thicker than this side, I think. I don't know, it's about the same. It tapers off a little. Weird. Great. Okay. Some of the other places that we're gonna contour is our nose and our jawline. So same thing, we're gonna just drag it all the way around. Not all the way around. I don't do my chin normally. But we're gonna do this side too, right under the jaw, like that. And then, I'm hitting Pan! Pan got hit. Okay, it's fine. We're also gonna do our nose. So I take this from my eyebrow all the way down to the tip of my nose, like that, on both sides. That one I slipped a little on. There we go. And then I'll do a tiny bit across the top of my nose also, like that. If I'm feeling really spicy, I'll do underneath my bottom lip. And that's just whatever's residual on here. I don't actually dip into this because I don't want a ton of product there. I just want a little bit to make my bottom lip look a little fuller. And you're just gonna sweep it back and forth because I don't want a ton of product. I just want a little bit of a shadow there to make my lip look fuller. And now you're gonna blend this. Oh, before I forget, when you're blending your contour, I like to blend up so that you do still have kind of a very clear idea of where your contour stops, and so it doesn't get super muddy. So as you're blending this and you're bouncing, just bounce, make sure that it doesn't just bounce in, that it kind of bounces up and away from your face. And it's me again. So if you probably, ooh, I missed a spot. So yeah, now that you're watching me do this chin or jawline, I guess, I did the opposite there. So I dragged this down to kind of elongate this shadow. It's gonna make your neck look a little longer. It's gonna make your jaw look a little bit sharper. So on your cheekbone, you're blending up. On your jawline, you're blending down. For your nose, just blend until you can't see that harsh line anymore. We are gonna go in and like fine tune this with our powders too. I will say that the brush is a little bit easier to do contour with because you kind of have a little bit more control over where you can brush it. Whereas this is kind of, the bouncing isn't as easy as manipulating a brush when you're doing contour. Yeah, let's go do some blush time. This is Rare Beauty's liquid blush, and this is in shade Grace, and it comes with a doe foot that looks like this. Another product where less is more, and if you push too hard on your skin with the doe foot, you will leave a little circle there. So be very gentle when applying this. A little bit of this product is going to give you a ton of pigment. So there's two different ways you can apply your brush. There's two different ways you can apply your blush. I apply it either on the apples of my cheek for a little bit of a fuller cheek, or right next to my eyes for a little bit of a lifted cheek. So we're gonna do a lift today, just like this. So I only use 2 dots of this. 1, 2, that's enough. That is totally fine. If you want more blush, again, you can add more blush, or you can add it in when we do our powders. If they're not even, it is not the end of the world. It's gonna be okay. I also do like to put this on the bottom of my chin. I think it's so cute. And then I put it right under my nose. I'm gonna use a beauty blender. And for this, you are gonna wanna kind of manipulate where the pigment is. So I do try to spread it through. You can go up to your forehead. I normally will wrap it around my eyebrow and then bring it down onto the cheek. So while the contour we're trying to keep here, the blush we're trying to, you know? So I use the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear Concealer. This is in shade Fawn. No, the other one. Do I have 2 products with the same name? It's fine. So this is the same thing that I use as my eyeshadow base also, if you're ever wondering what that is. I love using this concealer as an eyeshadow base. I'm gonna put a tiny bit of this because this is very, very light. This is like, oh, maybe it is mine. It's like a shade and a half or 2 shades lighter than my skin. So we're gonna put a tiny bit of this under our eyes, right in this corner, and then up here a little bit. Just a tiny little bit. And then on the bridge of our nose, in the center of our forehead, and a little on our cheek. I am gonna put a tiny bit here, but just a tiny because it's very light. And I'm going to take a beauty blender again. So I used my fingers at the very end just because sometimes on like a blemish like that, if I use a wet beauty blender, it'll just actually take the product off of a blemish because it's a raised surface. So I have a little bit more control over that with my finger. So I did just tap it in. It makes a big difference. And here is concealed. powder time. Yes. So this is the Beauty Bakery Flour Setting Powder. This is their translucent shade. It's called Oat. I do believe they have pigmented versions of this, but it's basically a setting powder. And I'm gonna take a brightening brush and dip it in and press this into my skin. Now, if you prefer, you can use a dry beauty blender. I do recommend a dry one because if it's wet, it'll melt the powder before it gets to your skin. So I'm gonna just push this under my eye and all of my shiny spots. So I, in particular, am a bit of an oily person. Sounds gross. So I'm gonna put this in my T-zone, in my smile lines, and under my lip. Now you can also put this directly under your contour to kind of help shape that a little bit too, keep it a little bit sharper. And again, you're just gonna press that in. It shouldn't necessarily look like you have powder on. There's so big of a difference. So like if you see, my jawline was so shiny before, and now look at my cheekbone, like you can see the actual difference between what has powder and what doesn't. So that's what we're trying to control, and the only reason we're not doing it in those areas is because it's going to get pigmented powder. So stay tuned. We are going to get to that now. We're going to take a break for a second because I'm feeling a little thirsty. What do you say? Why don't we get some water? I'll take a drink first. Cheers. That was precious. And we're gonna take the biggest, deepest breath that we can. Are you ready? We're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. Breathe in. That was good. That was really, really good. We're gonna do it again. 3, 2, 1. That was beautiful. You are so beautiful. Thank you for joining me with that. We're gonna talk about how beautiful and kind and compassionate you are for just a second. I know you're busy, you got some things to do, but it's really important that you take this time for yourself just to remind you that you are smart, you are compassionate, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Your body is exactly where it's supposed to be. Your face is exactly where it's supposed to be. Your skin is doing the things it needs to do to keep you alive. And you're doing great out there. Thank you so much. One more sip and then we gotta go. We gotta go get some contour on. Let's go do it. Let's go. I've never used this before, so we're gonna use it together for the first time. This is the Iconic London Ultimate Bronzing Powder, and this is in shade Medium Bronze. Let's hope that I have the right shade because it looks pretty good. It does look pretty good, actually. Let's do it. I'm gonna use this. It's a Sephora brush. It's matte old. I don't know how old it is, but it's shaped like that. Ooh, pigment, girl. Okay, I haven't even peeled the thing off the mirror yet, so that's how you know it's new. All right, so you're gonna get some pigment on the brush, and very carefully, I start directly on my hairline so I can see what kind of pigment this is. And I'm just gonna, in little circles, like this, little circles, we're gonna drag it out. And now, at the end, because we tapered in with our cream powder, okay girl, chill. Because we tapered it in with our cream contour, we're going to just drag it out very lightly, just to create a little bit of depth. And then I'll swirl it back onto my ear also. Perfect, look at that. She's got a beautiful shadow to her. It might be a little bit strong for what we normally do, but I'll show you how to lighten that up. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing to the other side. Oh, I forgot, oh my God. Let me do my jaw. Same thing with this, you're gonna wanna swirl and then bring it down your neck. And then for your nose, you're gonna want a very, very small amount of product. You're gonna just up and down, and out on the side of your nose. Just like that. Beauty. She looks like a different person. Okay, let's do the other side. I'll be right back. So this is what we look like right now, right? Okay, beauty, beauty, beauty. Okay, so now that we're looking at it, this side is a little bit more dense than this side, just in contour, right? So you're gonna just take a big, clean, fluffy brush, right? You're just gonna, yeah. And you're gonna just kind of buff it out a little bit, that's all. Worst case scenario, you put way too much on, right? Totally fine. It happens all the time, no big deal. We're going to take a little bit of our setting powder and run that over it. Just blend it in with it, so it'll lighten that a little bit, right? So we're just gonna make sure that our neck is blended. This side is blended. We got a real sun-kissed looking nose here. I didn't do my forehead. I don't normally do my forehead, but for the purpose of this, I feel like I should. I start right next to my hairline. It's probably supposed to be a little bit more graceful than this, but I don't do my hairline very often, my forehead. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I should, who knows? Not me, if anyone was wondering. I'm so tan now. Now it's blush time. Let's go do that. Review of that Iconic palette, not bad. It's a really pretty color. It went on really nicely, it blended out beautifully, so it's a win. I think I like it a lot. So for blush, we're doing the Ace Beauty Blushed in Paradise palette. And I like this palette because it gives you a lot of options, right? So if we're going for just like a normal, like subdued look, you would pick one of these lighter shades. I'm almost never there. I'm typically on this third red right here. It feels like it looks really dark. And what I do is I kind of sweep it on and I only go like one brush at a time. So I do like this. And then once I feel like it's kind of laid in the right spot, I will go in with that big fluffy brush and kind of soften the edges a little bit. Because sometimes we just need to slap on some product and then clean it up later. I just filled in my brows with this Maybelline Brow Ultra Slim defining pencil. It's super easy. You just take this, you run it underneath your hairs in a straight line up, make like little hair-like strokes, and then you use the spoolie end to just kind of blend it out. So I just did that super quick so that my eyebrows match my face. Before I do anything else, I'm going to spray with some setting spray. I'm almost out of this. Oh god. And I do this even before I do my eyes or anything, just to make sure that this stays in place. And then you don't have to fan yourself, but I'm impatient. So just wait for it to dry before you do anything else. Cool? Might be time for the last step to our base. So I just got this brand new product today also. This is the Jekka Black Gold Touch Shimmer Finish. It's a cream, it's like a pot, and it's gold. Look how beautiful that is. So I'm gonna take a little bit on my finger, and I wanna use this as like the base to my highlight. So I'm gonna put this in the places that I would put highlight. So I'm gonna put it on the bridge of my nose. Just like, did you see where I put that line of contour across my nose? I'm only putting it from there up. You see that cute little glow right there? And then on the tip of my nose, like that. Ooh, she cute. Okay. And technically this cream pot is good for eyes, lips, cheeks, all the fun stuff. So I'm gonna put it on my eyelids because it's cute. And then we're also going to put this where we're gonna put our highlighter on our cheeks. It's gonna be on top of your cheekbone, not on your cheekbone, but above it is what I should say. So I put it right up here to make your cheekbones look higher than they are, or maybe they might be. And I'm just gonna pat this in. So the cream itself is super pretty. I love this. but it's going to help whatever powder highlighter we have on top of this gleam a little brighter and stay a little better. So now you're going to take a highlighting brush. Some people like to use a fan brush. You're totally fine to use that. This is a Luxie 522 tapered highlighter brush. And we're going to use the Artist Couture Cocoa Bling Diamond Powder. Diamond Glow Powder in Cocoa Bling is what it's actually called. It's fine. A little of this product goes a long way. You literally only need what's on the top of this. I'm going to have this thing for 30 years. Like, I'm never going to need more product. So I just go in like little swirls, little highlighter swirls. And then I'll pull it around to the top of my eyebrow too. So the glow on the top of my eyebrow isn't going to be as intense as where I put that cream powder. So you can see, cream powder, why do I keep saying that? That cream product. So that's one eye. This is the bridge of my nose. You see the immediate gleam? Oh my God, I love this stuff. She's beauty, she is grace. Yes, okay. Ooh, she's spicy, she's sparkly. The Give Them La La Beauty Grown Woman palette, the Grown Woman palette. It's really pretty. I'm excited to use it. But I figured we would use like this shimmery color. It's called I Do. Just over top of that cream glitter, because I'm going to use that as a base, similar to what I just did with the highlighter, but I'm going to use this gold shimmer as a base on my eyes and then put this on top of it. Oh my God, that's so pretty. Wow, she's so pretty. For the first shade, the first and only shade that I've tried from this palette, it's really pretty. I'm really enjoying this. We're not gonna do more than that because today is not about the eyes. It's about the base. It's all about the base, about the base. Okay, here she goes. Okay. This is faux freckles. This is Jason the Freckled Boy. So when I have a blemish that's more raised than, you know, like something that I can cover easily, it's just pigment, you know, like scarring or something, I actually make it a freckle so that it doesn't just look like a bump on my face. So this is actually, I really like this because it looks like a paintbrush. So I'm gonna just take this and little dot, and now I have a little freckle. I have a little mole. She doesn't have a blemish, she has a mole. Ooh! I'm gonna do another one right there. Who is she? We are done. How cute! And this is it. This is everything. Now, for you and for your base, take as much as you want, leave as much as you want. This is for you guys to kind of explore, and I love you so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am so excited that I got to spend some time with you. We took a sip together. Don't forget, let's do it again. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much for being here. I love you so much. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, I want to hear them all. Give them to me. I love it. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.